Picture this, your prized vintage car, the one you've babied for years, suddenly bursts into flames in your own driveway, and the HOA queen saunters up with a smirk, clipboard in hand, cooing about community standards. That's exactly how my nightmare kicked off in the supposedly idyllic suburb of Willow Creek Estates, where picket fences hide petty tyrants. I watched my cherry-red '68 Mustang roast like a marshmallow at a bonfire gone wrong, and right then, I knew this wasn't an accident. It was war, declared by a woman who'd turned neighborhood harmony into a punchline for control freaks everywhere. It all started innocently enough, or so I thought. I'd moved to Willow Creek 5 years back, drawn by the promise of quiet streets, manicured lawns, and that all-American dream of a backyard barbecue without drama. Little did I know, this place was a pressure cooker of absurd rules enforced by the Homeowners Association, led by none other than Patricia "Patty" Kensington, the self-anointed guardian of order and aesthetics. Patty was the epitome of the suburban overlord, mid-50s, perpetually in khakis and a visor, armed with a voice that could curdle milk, sweet on the surface, venomous underneath. She'd patrol the cul-de-sacs in her golf cart, binoculars at the ready, doling out violations for everything from unauthorized flower colors to excessive holiday lights. Me? I was just Alex Rivera, a quiet software engineer who'd inherited a chunk of the development's underlying land from a forgotten family trust. I kept to myself, tinkered with my classic car in the garage, and ignored the whispers that I was that reclusive guy who doesn't mingle. Rumors flew. Some said I was dodging dues because I was broke. Others claimed I was secretly squatting. All bogus, of course, but Patty loved fanning those flames. "We must maintain standards, Alex," she'd say at meetings, her smile all teeth, while eyeing me like I was a weed in her prize rose bed. The tension had been simmering for months. It began with a nitpicky notice about my car's prolonged storage in the driveway. Apparently, leaving it out for a weekend oil change violated Section 4.2 of the bylaws. Something about visual clutter. I shrugged it off, paid the fine, and moved on. But Patty wasn't satisfied. She escalated to emails blasting the neighborhood listserv. Residents like Mr. Rivera threaten our community's pristine image. Remember, compliance isn't optional. It's neighborly. The gossip mill churned. Neighbors side-eyed me at the mailbox, whispering about how I was bringing down property values. I bit my tongue, documented everything, and watched. Patience, I told myself. These types always overplay their hand. Then came that fateful Saturday. I was under the hood of my Mustang, swapping out spark plugs, when the acrid stench hit me. Not barbecue, something chemical, sharp. I poked my head out, and there it was, orange flickers dancing from my driveway, my baby car crackling like popcorn in hell. What the? I bolted outside, phone in hand, dialing 911 as flames licked the chrome. Sirens wailed in the distance, but by the time the fire crew arrived, it was a goner, twisted metal, melted tires, the whole shebang reduced to a smoking skeleton. I stood there, gut-punched, fists balled, as the firefighters hosed it down. And who should appear, striding up like she was on a red carpet? Patty Kensington herself, visor tilted just so, clipboard flapping in the breeze. Her lips curled into that patented faux sympathy pout. "Oh, Alex, dear," she cooed, voice dripping with honeyed acid. "What a tragedy. I did warn you about those outdated vehicles posing fire hazards." Our rules are there to protect everyone. You know, I spun on her, smoke stinging my eyes. Protect? You think this was spontaneous? That car was pristine. No electrical issues. Fresh inspection last month. She flipped a page on her clipboard dramatically, like she was auditioning for a bad soap opera. Well, records show you've been delinquent on dues for 2 months now. Non-compliance has consequences. Perhaps if you'd attended the last meeting. I cut her off, voice steady but seething. Consequences? This reeks of gasoline. Patty. Someone torched it. She let out a tinkling laugh that could have shattered glass. Arson? From the HOA? Don't be absurd. We're about community, not chaos. But do check your mail. Those notices add up. Her eyes gleamed with that smug certainty, like she'd just checkmated a toddler. As she sashayed away, her sensible loafers clicking on the pavement, I realized this wasn't about dues. It was personal. She'd painted me as the villain, and now she'd lit the match to prove it. What Patty didn't know, and boy, was that her fatal flaw, was that Willow Creek wasn't just my neighborhood. It was my land. Literally. Through a dusty old trust from my great-uncle, a real estate mogul back in the 80s, I held the master deed to the entire subdivision's ground lease. The developers had built on it decades ago under a 99-year easement, assuming no one would ever dig deep enough to challenge it. I'd never planned to pull that card. Why rock the boat when life's fine? But watching my Mustang's ashes cool, something snapped. Not rage. Mind you. Cold, calculated resolve. I wasn't going to scream or sue blindly. No. I'd burrow like a mole, unearth every skeleton in their manicured closet, and watch them squirm under the sunlight. That afternoon, I holed up in my home office, the faint char smell lingering like a bad omen. I skipped the fire marshal's prelim, knew it'd scream accelerant, and instead compiled a dossier on the board. Patty at the helm, of course, with her treasurer buddy, a squirrely accountant named Barry Finch, and a vice-pres, Ellen Thorpe, who ran a boutique that sold overpriced knickknacks. Addresses, emails, LinkedIn profiles, I had it all. Leverage wasn't about confrontation. It was about making them sweat in their starched collars. Sunday, I paid Barry a visit at his strip mall office, timing it right after his ritual sub-sandwich run. He nearly choked on a pickle when I walked in. Mr. Rivera, this about the dues? I can explain. I slid the latest violation notice across his desk. Your signatures on this, Barry. Claiming my car's unauthorized, despite the variance I got approved 3 years back. Got the email chain right here. He mopped his brow, eyes darting. I'm just the numbers guy. Patty handles enforcement. I leaned in, voice low. Numbers like the ones funneling HOA funds to shady vendors? If this fire ties back to your crew, you're accessory before the fact. His face paled like skim milk. Fire? What fire? Patty said it was an accident. I smirked inwardly. Maybe ask her what else she's accidentally hiding. I left him marinating in panic. By Monday, I'd hit the county records office, pulling HOA financials that read like a comedy of errors. Budget shortfalls? Please. They'd siphoned $35,000 into aesthetic improvements. No bids. No receipts. Just checks to Creekview Services, a ghost LLC tied to Patty's brother-in-law, who consulted on lawn care but hadn't mowed a blade in years. It was laughable, really, how these self-righteous busybodies preached fiscal responsibility while lining pockets. I made my calls, First to a cop buddy from college. Owed me for bailing him out once. Second to an arson expert who'd sniffed out insurance scams. Third to a shark lawyer who ate HOA boards for breakfast. Tuesday dawned with sweet justice. A deputy cuffing Patty outside the clubhouse. Her visor askew, as nosy neighbors gawked. Embezzlement, property damage, fraud. The cop recited like a menu. Patty sputtered. "This is outrageous. I'm upholding standards." Her face, priceless, drained white, lips flapping like a fish on dry land. I watched from afar, silent. This was just the appetizer. But Patty's arrest was the tip of the iceberg. The HOA's rot ran deep. Bogus fines for non-conforming bird feeders. Threats to lien homes over unpainted mailboxes, all while board members pocketed kickbacks. Wednesday, I crashed their emergency meeting, folder in hand. The room hushed as I stepped up. "Ladies and gents, surprise, I own the dirt under your feet. Every lot, every cul-de-sac. My family's trust holds the lease." Gasps echoed like a bad sitcom. Barry stammered. "You can't." I slapped down the deed. "Your easement's toast." Criminal antics voided, arson, fraud, the works. Ellen piped up, voice quivering. "But the community needs us," I chuckled dryly. "Needs you like a hole in the head. I'm starting a resident council voluntary. No power trips." Claps started slow, then swelled. Barry's defiance crumbled. "You're bluffing. County recorder says otherwise." Filed at dawn. I walked out to stunned silence, tossing their lien notice in my trash on the way home. The fallout was glorious. Local news splashed HOA boss busted in fiery scandal. And I gave a quote. "It's not about money. It's about bullies thinking rules don't apply to them." By Friday, the neighborhood breathed easier. But I wasn't done digging. Saturday, I met DA's assistant, Carla Ruiz, a no-nonsense prosecutor who shredded white-collar crooks. "You've uncorked a viper nest," she said, scanning my files. "Shell core, forged SIGs. This screams RICO." I handed over more. "Check the deposits to Patty's kin." "Unlicensed since forever." She nodded. "Subpoenas incoming. Felonies for all signatories." Then the flash drive, neighbor cam footage of a hooded figure with a gas can. HOA patch glaring. Shoes matching Patty's nephew from the holiday picnic pic. "Family affair." "Ha," Carla mused. "Personal indeed." Back home, the board imploded. Emails flew. Shreds word. But I'd rallied residents, screenshots, recordings of meetings where Patty sneered. "Non-compliers get what's coming." Sheila Lang, a fed-up teacher, hosted a backyard powwow. 20 showed. Venting. Fines for wrong mulch. Repair denials unless fees paid. I passed council charters. Voluntary. Transparent. No liens. No lords. A guy raised his hand. "What about them? Resign or face the DA." Next day, arrests hit. 3 board eyes hauled for fraud. 1 blubbering. "I just signed what Patty said." Gossip buzzed. News vans camped. I stayed low. But peace? Not yet. Monday brought a slick call from Apex Developments, the original builders. "Mr. Rivera, about the lease." I cut in, "Violated." "Done." Pause. "We'll litigate." "Bring it." Wednesday, their legal bomb arrived, threats galore. My lawyer laughed. Self-voiding clause. Slam dunk. Court loomed. Meanwhile, neighbors rebuilt my driveway, tools and chit-chat flowing. Hearing day, me and flannel, Them in Armani. Judge hammered. Good faith? Ah. Dismissed. Damages awarded. We got enough for a volunteer hub. Trees. The works. That night, on the fresh pavement, grills sizzled safely. Freedom smelled sweet. Patty's plea? Shredded when more dirt surfaced. A buried consulting payout to sleazy contractor Vince Harlan. Fake creds and all. Off-book surveillance, it read. I tipped Carla. She dug. Similar scams elsewhere. Fires encouraging compliance. Then the storage unit tip, Patty's sister's name. Expired lease. I paid up, found boxes. And a drive. Logs of spying on troublemakers. My name starred. Raids hit Harlan's pad. Accelerants. Blueprints. A compliance playbook. Threats. Staged wrecks. Chilling, but hilariously corporate. Harlan nabbed for conspiracy. Video sealed it. Patty's nephew lighting up. Her watching like a spectator at a roast. Plea revoked. Rearrested. Sentencing. I stared her down. You burned trust. Not just metal. Control freak? Now you're controlled. Judge, 10 years. Harlan, 12. Willow Creek Bloomed Sands HOA. Council elected humbly. Sheila chair. Mechanic treasurer. I skipped running. Bought a new ride. 72 Charger. Dubbed Revenge Tour. Sunset Cruise. Kids waving. I pondered. Fear crumbles to facts and guts. Neighbors stepped up. Gardens wilder. Laughs freer. No fines for living. But here's the kicker. Was I the villain for pulling the land card? Or was Patty the real arsonist of community spirit? You tell me. In a world of clipboard dictators, is fighting fire with fire ever wrong? Drop your thoughts below. Justice served. Or overkill.